mathematics has been studied and pondered over since the dawn of civilization. Throughout history, there have been many outstanding people who discovered so much of the mathematics we learn about and still rely on to this day. Some of these people you may have heard about, some of them you may not. In the maths department, we want to bring you some of our favourite and most inspiring mathematicians from the past and the present. I'm sure we have all heard of this famous name. Pythagoras is the ancient Greek mathematician who gave us the all-important relationship between the lengths of a right-angled triangle. You may also have learnt about Al-Khwarizmi and Al-Kindi in your history lessons. These Middle Eastern mathematicians gave us the Hindu-Arabic numeral system and the place value system. But who are some of the names we might not hear about in school?
Everest Galwa was a French mathematician and political activist. After a protest, he spent 6 months in prison, and then on the day he was released, was killed in a duel. He was only 20 years old.
Bop him.
In prison, Galwa put together all of his mathematical works. The night before his duel, fearing his impending doom, he stayed up all night putting the finishing touches to it. His work inspired a whole branch of mathematics named after him, Galois theory. It's about investigating the solutions to polynomial equations. In school, lots of you will solve things like x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. It has solutions x equals 1 and x equals 1. His work was about investigating the solutions to higher power polynomials, things like x to the power 4 minus x cubed minus 5x squared plus 6 equals 0.
My favourite mathematician is Shrivasa Ramanujan. Born in 1887 in India, Shrivasa Ramanujan had almost no formal maths training. He taught himself. He sent some of his ideas to G.H. Hardy in Cambridge, who was incredibly impressed. In 1914, Ramanujan travelled from India to Cambridge in order to work with Hardy. Ramanujan compiled nearly 4,000 new results, many of them groundbreaking new theorems in areas such as infinities and primes. Perhaps this was due to his lack of mainstream training.
My favourite mathematician is Katherine Johnson. Now, Katherine Johnson was just a normal maths teacher. However, her passion for mathematics enabled her to become one of the most famous mathematicians who worked for NASA from the 60s. Her calculations on orbital mechanics were vital for the success of Apollo 11, and that was the mission which first landed humans on the moon. The reason why Katherine Johnson is so famous is because she made history as the first black woman to work at NASA as a scientist, and her story has been immortalized in the film Hidden Figures. Throughout her life, Katherine encouraged people from all backgrounds to pursue studies and careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. In 2015, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama.
Alan Turing was a British mathematician who is often referred to as the grandfather of the computer. During the Second World War, Turing helped the Allies to break the German Enigma code, a code that was always thought to be unbreakable. To do this, he created the first computer, called the bomb. Due to his work, it is thought that the Second World War was shortened by at least 2 years. Tragically, Alan Turing killed himself after relentless persecution from the British government. At the time, homosexuality was illegal. Only recently has the government offered an apology for their actions. Turing sadly ended his life by taking a bite from a poisoned apple. Perhaps this is what inspired the Apple logo.
Hi everyone, Miss Burney here. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about mathematics behind decision making, an area pioneered by the American mathematician John Nash. To explain his work, let's look at a classic example of the prisoner's dilemma. Imagine two partners have committed a crime, but the police have very little evidence to convict either one. They put each of the partners into an interrogation room and try to get a confession. Let's look at the two possibilities that could happen if you remain silent. Either your partner also remains silent and you both get 2 years, or your partner complies with the authorities, giving you the longer sentence of 8 years. Now let's look at the two possibilities if you were to comply. Either your partner stays silent, meaning you get the lightest sentence of 1 year, or your partner also complies and you each get 5 years. Let's summarize. If you stay silent, you're looking at 2 or 8 years. If you are complying with the authorities, you're looking at 1 or 5 years. The balance between the risk and reward is lower when you comply, so the best strategy is to always comply. John Nash proved this mathematically, and this math can be applied to far more complicated situations.
Hi, Miss Ruth here. One of my two favourite mathematicians is Mr. Raymond OBrien. Raymond OBrien was one of my lecturers at university, and the module that he taught me was quantitative modelling. In this module at university, I was introduced to the world of probability distributions. And I then went on to learn how we can use probability distributions to model how much insurance companies have to pay out when there is an accident, and therefore how much we should charge people to insure their cars. One of the most notable papers that the mathematician Raymond OBrien has published is called Modelling the Manner in which Sporadically Changing Information is Accounted for by Traders in a Betting Market. My second favourite mathematician is our very own Dr. Friff, who was awarded his PhD from City University, London. Dr. Friff's research interests are in non-Hermitian quantum mechanics, and although he tried to explain these to me, it's still something I don't fully understand. So maybe ask him for yourself to get a better idea of what this mathematics involves.
My favourite mathematicians are those who are curious, ask questions to develop their understanding, and are not afraid to make mistakes. My favourite mathematicians are enthusiastic. They know the joy of problem solving and take pride in their work. My favourite mathematicians look for patterns, make conjectures, and love to celebrate their peers' success. My favourite mathematicians are each and every one of you. My joy comes from seeing you develop as mathematicians, and that's why the students of Arc Academy are by far my favourite mathematicians. Keep being curious, keep asking questions, and keep celebrating your success, because who knows, you might be the next Archimedes, Dorothy Vaughan, Blaise Pascal, Annie Easley, Albert Einstein, René Descartes, Hannah Fry, Pythagoras, Beverly Anderson, Isaac Newton, Ramanujan, or even Dr. Friff. Happy World Maths Day to all our math magicians.
Guys, welcome to Maths again. Yay! So today we'll learn the cosine rule. Yeah? Alright, okay. A squared